What is going on, everybody? I'm Justin Thomas. Welcome to the Justin Thomas Show. This is the evolution of the trailer, episode 1, A Star is Born. I'd like to take a moment to thank all my Patreons that support creativity. If you're looking to support creativity, there are links below. And if you have not already subscribed, make sure to do so now. So when looking at the evolution of a trailer, it's always advantageous when we have a situation like we have right now. First off, this looks like a pretty good movie and the trailer was really well received. But the most important aspect is this story has literally been told 3 times before, this being the 4th adaptation of the film. This literally is a story that is as old as Hollywood itself and is a really meta look at Hollywood itself, even in the first film ending with a shot of the actual screenplay almost winking at the camera. So we are going to get to see a iteration of a trailer from the years of the NSS, the National Screen Service, to modern day Hollywood boutiques. Barbara Streisand, who starred in the last iteration of this film, said once that it's almost like a movie that works every 20 years, and she almost hit it right on the ball, hitting right at that 21-year mark for the newest version with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga starring. This film has had a lot of rumors around it over the last few years. At one point it was Clint Eastwood directing, Spielberg was in the running for the directing of this film as well, Tom Cruise was rumored to be the lead male, and Beyonce was actually in the lead role for the female for a long time, even when Cooper was on board. Eventually Cooper did get into the driver's seat, and also he is taking over the directorial duties of this film as well. He is obviously looking for an Oscar with this. They are releasing an Oscar season this October, and it will be a competitor. This ironically is one of the first films that used the Oscars as a plot point in the film. Oscars were only about 5 to 7 years old when this film came out. Now, I did do a video about the history of movie trailers, and I recommend you actually check that out below. There are a few things about movie trailers that you probably should be aware of. First off, this is a perfect example, of course, of when art meets business, and it doesn't usually end well. This is why filmmakers rarely make their own trailers. It's almost like making a commercial for selling your baby. Also, they outsource a lot of it to Hollywood boutiques and trailer houses that do specialize in making trailers hit all of the emotional beats that they need to hit, and again, they usually don't want to make a shortcut of their own film. It is just something that most directors are either going to collaborate heavily with the trailer houses on or not at all in some cases. So we will take a quick look at all 4 trailers, and then we will break down all 4 trailers. I do want to say that since we will be going over the basic formula for the actual storyline that they have utilized in all 3 films before, and I'm assuming even with rewrites by Cooper and his partner, that they're most likely going to stick to the basic framework. So spoiler warnings ahead, even though it is a story that's been told for the last 85 years. So let's take a quick look at a mix I did of all 4 trailers.
Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die.
Yes, a star is born.
But don't come to see A Star is Born expecting to find a Cinderella story. Be shocked by the price that must be paid in heartbreak and tears.
One for her. This is her story.
You want to have bells that'll ring.
In the world of rock music, John Norman Howard was once the best, but he was burning out. Until he met
I believe there's the best of both worlds.
Esther Hoffman. A Star is Born.
Okay, so that was a mix of all 4 trailers. You can see the last trailer, the 1976, Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand, was the first movie to go from movie stars to rockers. But regardless if it is rocker or if it's a movie star, there's not only a simple structure for this story, there's a pathos for this story as well, and that is a star is born, so a star must die. So again, spoiler alert, the movie probably will follow this, and I'll get to the new trailer and how it is foreshadowing this already. So the basic framework is usually very successful rocker or movie star finds a struggling either actress or songwriter who is deemed somewhat unacceptable by the industry, and the mentor gives her a helping hand. She eventually becomes even more successful than the mentor, and then she wins a major award, in this case an Academy Award, an Oscar. This causes the mentor to act out publicly. He becomes kind of this industry pariah. She is willing to take care of him, but she starts to see what he's become, and even worse, what it's making her become. And he eventually does unfortunately commit suicide. It's either done in one of 2 ways. Either goes swimming out too far one night, or he dies in a car accident by driving too fast. She hits her rock bottom, but then she rebuilds herself, and her talent and her success keeps the flame burning for his memory, per se. In the very first trailer, which is a great example of a NSS, a National Screen Service trailer, in its lavish Technicolor production, which is the same color system in which The Wizard of Oz was produced in. So yes, this is the first film that carries the title A Star is Born, and unlike the other 3 iterations, it is not a musical, because even the Judy Garland version is tagged as a musical in the trailer. Now this leads Janet Gaynor and Freddie March. Many believe this story was inspired by this real-life public demise of a vaudeville actor, Frank Fay. See, the first trailers will always really sell just the Hollywood film in general, and this one is selling Hollywood itself with naming some of the hot spots with the melody of California, Here I Come.
Before you lies the most glamorous city on earth, Hollywood, California. A city where men and women skyrocket to fame or plunge to oblivion. What happens amid the glamour of such famous gathering places as the Ambassador Pool, the Trocadero on the Gold Coast of the film city, at the Brown Derby where famous stars meet, or in the gay setting of Santa Anita Park? It's all a part of fantastic Hollywood. Hollywood at playtime. Here behind the walls of Selznick International Studio, we see Hollywood at work. A new Janet Gaynor is in the making. A Janet Gaynor never before seen on the screen.
Then it transitions to the behind-the-scenes look, which is something that happened a lot more than you would think with these first trailers, is they give you a actual behind-the-scenes look.
William A. Wellman is guiding Janet Gaynor and Frederick March as they will appear in the David O. Selznick Technicolor production, A Star is Born.
All right, Freddie, you know you've been after the girl unsuccessfully. So this time must be very tender, very earnest, and very sincere, and rather quiet. You all ready, Duke?
Ready, Mr. Wellman.
All right, roll 'em.
The director, William Wellman, giving directions to March and Gaynor before an actual scene being filmed. It's sensationalizing Hollywood itself and Hollywood stars. It's selling the real-life look into the movie star. The first film trailers will always heavily focus the sensationalism of Hollywood, and then its stars almost second. Is really pushing, especially Gaynor, but March as well. In the 54 version that we're about to see, we'll see how much they're pushing Garland. And then this is also giving us meta commentary with the classic voiceover guy from these NSS trailers right here, giving you all of the cliches, especially with the line of how much they have to pay for the fame. You'll be shocked by the price that must be paid, and hot break and tears for every moment of triumph. And then they do actually refer to the film as Hollywood's first true story.
Lionel Stander as a headline-grabbing press agent, and Edgar Kennedy. They come to you in Hollywood's first true story, rising from the heartaches and laughter of a million men and women. Janet Gaynor and Frederick March in A Star is Born give you a Hollywood the world does not know. They answer for the first time a strange question. What is the cold fear clutching at the hearts of the famous?
When you're talking about A Star is Born, this might be perhaps the most famous because of its own place in Hollywood lore. This was Judy Garland's comeback film, and she had a series of incidents in 4 years where she lost her MGM contract. She was dealing with an ongoing drug problem and unfortunately a suicide attempt as well. This is a trailer that is heavily Garland-centric. And it is solely almost focusing on her. James Mason, who plays her love interest in this film, he gets 2 shots. The trailer is really all about Garland, her musical numbers, and the mythos of Hollywood filmmaking. This version, they are film stars, but they are musical talent. This is also your classic NSS, relying heavy on the voiceover in their title cards with the musical numbers that she performs. The Man That Got Away was actually nominated for an Oscar. It didn't win, proving once again the music is a crucial part of this story, though, nonetheless.
Tempo of its great music, and you'll know it when you experience the joy and jubilation of Judy Garland as the star, and you'll never forget James Mason as Norman Maine.
You watch your sky of baby blue, you gotta have me go with you. For it started many years ago when I was born in a trunk in the Princess